Okay, good afternoon. We're going to get this thing started. I'm going to try to get caught up on a vlog here. It's been a while since I've done any vlogs. I'm going to try to run by a script here and get to the point where I'm not saying the ands and uhs and make me sound like I'm half mentally retarded, or maybe I had a fucking stroke. So we're trying not to do that. Going to not try to beat on the desk. I've tried to do this 5 different times. I have a different setup here, and the setup I don't really like. We have the Bluetooth in the ear. My microphones have basically shit out on me. So we're going to see what we can come up with, and hopefully we can make some fun and humor into this shit. With that being said, first things first, we got to give a shout out to my girlfriend. I love you, babe. Got to give a shout out to my sister and her boy B, and her old man that's probably sleeping or dreaming of fun things. And also got to give a shout out to my boy Blue over on the East Coast there that I work with quite often. He definitely puts the humor into things, either making fun of me or me making fun of him. So let's get this started. We're going to start with a week ago, Kate Brown came out with her 2-week freeze plan. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through and dissect a couple of these things, and you're going to notice that the 2-week freeze that she was talking about has absolutely nothing to do with Thanksgiving. And you'll get my point, and we'll make it very clear and to the point that you'll be able to understand what I'm saying now. So right now, we're going to go ahead and do the first clip. This first clip is going to be the enormous amount of COVID-related illnesses that they have. Every day, the numbers are doubling and tripling. We're into triple digits now. We're having people die. Thank God. Fortunately, they're only single numbers, but unfortunately, still people are dying. Most of these people are dying with underlying medical conditions, and it's just, unfortunately, they're elderly people, and they have COVID. So anyway, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to listen to this little clip, and we're going to dissect this. So I don't like the setup because I have to push the stop button on the camera versus my keyboard. So let's go to the first clip, clip number 1. Check this out.
Every day, it's infecting more and more Oregonians who think they are safely seeing their friends and their family members. It's a very dangerous situation, and our hospitals have been sounding the alarm. In the Portland metropolitan area, hospitals are expecting an influx of COVID-19 patients.
Okay, did you hear that? Kate Brown just getting done saying that the Portland metro area is going to be the ones that are going to have a high amount of folks going to the hospital. Again, Kate Brown, this is the whole entire state of fucking Oregon. Not only just in your little bubble, not at your lesbian lover friend's house, but the whole entire fucking state of Oregon is what we're talking about, okay? We understand, again, you have more testing that is available to the public, whether it's private, whether it's your healthcare provider, or whether it's the hospital. The more you test, the more your numbers are going to either go up and or go down. If you want to not know what the numbers are or this be explosive pandemic, stop all the testing. People want to go in and they want to get tested to see if they even have had COVID. You're already over it. You don't need to know whether or not you have it. The numbers are going to stack against you. We're going to have more closures on establishments, restaurants. If we have 1,000 people that go in and they get tested and they're like, oh, I got COVID. That must have been 3 weeks ago. That must have been 3 months ago when I got sick. I had COVID. Guess what? Those thousands of numbers of people that went in and got tested to find out that they did have COVID previously, immediately that gets stacked on the numbers for that day. So we might have record number of 3,000 COVID cases in the state of Oregon. If you're not sick, I suggest don't get tested. The numbers are going to go straight through the roof. And the healthcare providers cannot even provide to us, if you were tested and you've had COVID in the past, let's say 2 months ago, they still cannot advise on whether or not you're going to be susceptible on getting the disease again, whether or not you're going to be a carrier, And or if I'm not going to get the bacteria again and I'm not a carrier, then I should be able to go into a store, and if they say you have to wear a mask, I can simply say, hey, I've already been tested. I've already had it. I'm not a carrier. They cannot even tell us any of this. Also, when the vaccine comes out, the people that need it are the ones that are healthcare providers. I get it. Elderly people. It's to prevent you from getting it. It's not a cure for the COVID. People think, oh, great, we're going to have this COVID relief. We're going to have this vaccine. It's going to protect us from it. It's not going to cure it. Just like AIDS, just like herpes, just like gonorrhea, you're still going to get it. Period. End of story. So the next clip, we'll go through that. The next clip is going to be, she always puts all of her testing and what she wants to do with the state compared to North Korea and South Korea. When I say North Korea, South Korea, that's basically Washington State and California. She bases all of her evidence on things that Washington State are doing, what California is doing. And an example is just like daylight savings time. We voted that in last year. We approved it absolutely 100% all the way through that it passed, but yet we're still recognizing daylight savings time. The reason why is because we're patiently waiting on what California and what Washington State are doing. Again, North Korea and South Korea always has their foot in the door on what the fuck Oregon State is going to be doing. That's Governor Kate Brown. She loves North Korea and South Korea. She's like Uncle Un from China. Just likes the North, likes the South. I want to bomb you. If you're going to bomb me, whatever. You'll see she relies on other states and what Oregon is going to do. And whatever North Korea and South Korea are going to do, Oregon State is going to follow suit with it every single time. So here's clip 2. Take a look at this.
Certainly not happening just in Oregon. The dreaded winter surge is here. Infection records are being set in states across the entire country. This means we cannot look to other states to share their staffing and hospital beds because they too are experiencing the surge.
And here goes Governor Kate Brown talking about we can't get information from the other states. Why? Is because if she really wants to lock this down, do herself a favor. Shut the fucking border down. Washington is not allowed to come into Oregon. Oregon's not able to go into California, and vice versa. California not come up to Oregon. You'll notice on some of her other videos, she'll state in there exactly state by state on what Gavin Newsom's doing in South Korea, in Insling up in North Korea. Who gives a shit about what they're doing? Again, we need to be Oregon and Oregon-based, not Portland metropolitan area, not your little bubble in Salem, not North Korea, not South Korea. Let's get this shit figured out. Let's get it taken care of so we can move on with our lives and be back to where we were a year ago, 8 months ago, a year ago. So this governor is she's out of her fucking mind. She will dictate on how we do one thing, but then in a few minutes she'll go right back to saying something completely different. And we'll watch this. So on clip 3 here that's coming up, masks save lives. She states mask saves lives, but yet in the last 8 to 10 months, everybody has been wearing a mask. Look, let's face it. Everybody is not wearing their mask properly. The inappropriate wearing of the mask underneath the nose is completely exposed to masks that are not going to protect you from bacteria. I can put on the high sophisticated mask that my work gives me. I can fart and I'll be able to smell that damn thing. Now, if gas from my ass I can smell, there's no way that mask is going to prevent any bacteria of getting into my nose, into my beard, into my mouth, or anything else. Another thing is people, they take their mask off when they're at the store and then they rub their face, or they take it off and they brush it across their face. That's just bacteria on your hands, everything else, and just brushing it right across your face. People need to be trained. The stupid people the liberals need to be trained on exactly how to properly wear a mask. Us conservatives, us Republicans, we just don't wear a mask. We're like, fuck, we get sick, we'll go home, have a couple of weeks off, and then we'll go back to work. We're right back to where it needs to be. So she states that masks save lives. Again, in the last 8 to 10 months, everybody has been taking extra caution and extra procedures on wearing their masks the best way they can, even though it's incorrectly. I go to the stores, I watch people that are standing on the little dots on the bottom of the floor, whether it's at Safeway, whether it is at Albertsons, McDonald's, they're keeping their distances. Walmart, they're keeping their distances, but yet we still have triple-digit numbers every day. It gets worse and worse and worse. If masks save lives, then why the fuck is our numbers going straight through the fucking roof? When Antifa and Black Lives Mattered came into the state of Oregon and started rioting, Mr. Ted Wheeler, you worthless piece of shit, and Kate Brown, the fucking most out of touch with herself and her community and her state, our numbers didn't go up all the way. And why is that? Why did our numbers not go up when Antifa and Black Lives Matters were protesting? Yet you say, oh, it's because they were wearing their masks, even though they weren't practicing social distancing. A do-rag or a piece of toilet paper wrapped across their face isn't going to fucking help anything. Oh, speaking of riots, when's the last time we had a riot in Portland? It's been probably a couple of days after the election results, which thank God the election results came in great. We ain't going to talk about politics and elections or the election politics just yet. That's another vlog. So let's take a look at this take 3 on masks save lives. Let's see what she has to say.
I'm also asking Oregonians to wear a mask at all times, except when eating and drinking, whether you are indoors or outdoors. The evidence is very, very clear that masks save lives.
Okay, so with that being said, Kate Brown is saying that no matter if you're indoors or if you're outdoors, you must wear a mask. But yet, when you just watch that video and she's speaking, she does have the distance. She does have her isolation of more than 6 feet. But yet she's not wearing a mask. Why can't our governor not be able to speak in a microphone, which she's almost deep-throating, which she kind of swings the other direction because she's bisexual. And I know she likes vagina better than she does cock. But that's beside the point. We could do, actually, you know what? We could do a vlog about that. I'll get some information. Mark my words. We'll get something figured out. But Kate Brown does not wear a mask while she speaks. Why not? If we practice social distancing, you're still telling us that you're asking us to wear a mask. Now, mind you, in that clip, she's asking people to wear a mask. She's not mandating. She's not telling us, which is it's way out of her league to be able to tell me or tell the public that you need to wear a mask or not wear a mask, when to wear a mask, when not to wear a mask, and the time frames. Because COVID actually will start anywhere from whenever the fuck Kate Brown thinks it needs to start, and will end whenever her butt lover, Mr. Gavin down in South Korea, tells her when to not wear a mask anymore, because he's out at the bars and having parties and going to birthday parties and all sorts of shit. So, whatever. So, again, the rioting has nothing to do with spreading the COVID. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this clip. This clip here is going to be the statewide mandate, travel state by state. Again, she says in here that if you travel out of the state of Oregon, that you are to self-quarantine, and vice versa. Anybody comes in from North Korea or South Korea into China, you must self-quarantine yourself for 14 days. You come in the state, 14 days, travel on with whatever you're doing. Now, with that being said, not only is that complete asinine and just stupid for her to fucking say, people live in Washington State, Vancouver. They come over to Portland. They have to work in Portland. They come over, they have to self-quarantine for 14 days, and then they get to work one day, and then they have to go back to the other state and self-quarantine for 14 days. Basically, you only get to work 2 days out of the whole entire month. It just does not make any sense whatsoever. So let's take a look at this. We'll dissect this, and this is take 4 here. Governor Kate Brown on the travel state by state.
This is in addition to the travel advisory I issued with this morning alongside California Governor Gavin Newsom and Washington Governor Jay Inslee. We recommend that those who have traveled out of state self-quarantine for 14 days upon return. One more key item for the 2-week freeze. It's about social get-togethers, which are limited to 2 households or a maximum of 6 people. I know there's a lot of confusion on what this means, so let me be very, very clear. This means you should only socialize with 1 other household. For those of you who live alone, choose up to 5 people total to socialize with for the next 2 weeks, and that's it. And then when you are together, whether indoors or outdoors, you must still practice all the public health measures we've been drilling for the past 8 months. Physically distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands.
Okay, now can you believe this shit, what Kate Brown was just saying in that video? It's absolutely just asinine here. So she states on the travel ban, this lady is so fucking stupid, that if you travel out of state, for instance, the Washingtonians, the North Koreans come over to the state of Oregon, hang out, get us all infected, make us sicker than a dog, and then you have to go somewhere, self-quarantine for 14 days before you leave our state so you don't get North Korea infected with the shit that you're bringing down in the first place. That doesn't make any sense. You come down, do your Thanksgiving for 3 or 4 days, and then stop at the border. Do we have little yurts on the side of the house or on the side of the freeway where we just pull in there, whip the fucking car in there, throw the kids out? Okay, get in there. We're hanging out here for 14 days. And then load up all the shit and go across the border to North Korea. And you're safe. You're good to go. The other thing in her statement is listen to what she says. She said that you are not to have more than 2 households together in one place, totaling of 6 people. So what she's saying is that if you have 4 people at your house and you invite your mom and dad to come over, that's 1 household, 2 more people, total of 6, right? That makes perfect sense. Still wear a mask, still do your social distancing to make sure everybody's safe. But then yet she turns around for a bachelor like myself that I can choose up to 5 people. That means I could choose up to a single individual per a single household. So technically I can have a total of 6 different households together to come over, hang out, wear a mask, do my social distancing, and then eat, and then wash your hands, wash your face, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't make sense. She's still regulating it down to 6 people. Why? Because North Korea and South Korea are doing the same exact thing that's already implemented into their state, their country, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And she's just bringing it right back over to China here that we live in. So again, does not make sense. Total of 6 people, no more than 2 households during Thanksgiving. But yet, if you're a bachelor, you can do up to 5 other people, including yourself, or not including yourself, total of 6. So you can have a total of 6 different households to get sick. So again, she absolutely doesn't make any sense whatsoever in what she's talking about. So now here comes the good part. Everybody's going to be excited about this. So everything she's been talking about is not related to Thanksgiving. It is related to a holiday that apparently I am not aware of. I've never heard of this holiday, But we're going to play the tape, and trust me, you don't have to rewind it because we're going to go through this clip about 3 times and we're going to just dissect the shit out of this. Just to go to show, we have Thanksgiving and we have another holiday over here. This holiday is the holiday that she's speaking of. So this should be getting exciting for us. So here's clip 5. Let's take a look at this clip.
Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is going to fall within this 2-week freeze time frame. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is going to fall within this 2-week freeze time frame.
Okay, now stop. What is it that she just got done saying? We're going to roll the tape again, but I don't believe this is actually a holiday that anywhere in the United States and the countries we live in, North Korea, South Korea, China, I don't think these are any holidays that we celebrate. So we're going to play this again here. So listen to it again.
Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is going to fall within this 2-week freeze time frame. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is going to fall within this 2-week freeze time frame.
I can keep playing this back and forth all day long because I just think it's fucking hilarious. The holiday that she's speaking of on that we need to quarantine and make sure that we don't have more than 6 people is Thanksgiving. I can't make this shit up. Now, here's one thing here. The guy right here in this picture, do you think that he's doing the sign language instead of saying Thanksgiving? He's going Thanksgiving? I don't know. This poor fucking guy in the background that's trying to sign. How can you sign when you have a word that comes up? It's like there's no sign language for that type of fucking word because it's not an English word. It's fucking ironic. Look at this guy. This poor fucking guy right here. Do you think that he could get this shit figured out? He's just absolutely at fucking awe. So for all of you that thinks about Thanksgiving, again, and Thanksgiving falls in the same time frame for the 2-week freeze that Thanksgiving is. So I don't know if it's Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving. So we're going to move along here. We're going to go to clip 6 here. Clip 6 is, this is what she is doing that the public has to follow. This is her example. Example to a T. Now, mind you, what she's going to be doing at home, she's going to be having her husband, herself, her husband's daughter and son-in-law, and their dog, which that would be 5. And then I think her lesbian lover in the basement is going to come upstairs to have dinner with them. That's going to be their total 6 people. So here's her example on what we should be doing for Thanksgiving.
So let me give you an example about what an in-person holiday should look like under these guidelines. Dan, myself, and our new puppy, Jory, will invite over 1 other household. For us, that's Dan's daughter and her fiancé. There, we'll have them come for dinner. Ideally, we'll eat outside, but obviously, if our beautiful Oregon weather delivers its typical November weather, it's likely to be raining, so we may choose to eat inside. We will all physically distance and wear our masks, except when eating and drinking. Hopefully, we'll be able to Zoom with my mom and sisters and brothers and Dan's mom and his family members too. I know it doesn't look like the Thanksgiving holiday we've all been planning for weeks.
There you have it. There's your explanation. Your explanation 100% on exactly how this is going to play out and plan out. Again, what she's doing is how everybody else has to follow suit. It's funny. I'm sure that if we were able to get into um, the Governor Brown's compound there, that if they were eating outside, I highly doubt that they would be outside with their masks on, practicing social distancing. So, anyways, we'll move on. Move on to the last clip here. In the last clip, we'll take a look at this one here.
We strongly encourage outdoor recreation and camping, and as such, our parks and playgrounds are staying open. Breathing fresh, if not chilly air, will help every single one of us.
So, what is it you're telling me? So, you can go outdoors and you can go camping and you can get the fresh air, but yet she never says anything about needing to wear a mask or social distance yourself. But yet, in the very beginning, she says anytime you're inside and or outside, you must wear a mask. Again, our governor is just absolutely so out of reach of herself. It's just absolutely asinine. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this put together and upload it to YouTube and see how it does. But for right now, we're just going to let her go and pray to God that everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Everybody does what they need to do to be happy and have lots to eat. And I hope the old man is feeling a little bit better. He's kind of under the weather last couple of days, so hopefully he's feeling a little bit better. But so for right now, we're going to sign off. I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend. I love you. I give a shout out to my sister and B and her old man. And want to give a shout out to my boy Blue over there on the east coast of China there. Anyways, God bless. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Give me